Alright guys, here's what we're doing. We're going to create a radial symmetrical design, and then in each of our different sections we will be using a different color scheme. Here's how you transfer your image. I took my paper, I folded it in half once, I folded it in half again. Then I folded the whole thing up. I drew a very, very simple design in one of my squares, in one of my sections. I unfolded it. I folded it to where the graphite from that first design was touching a clean side. I used the end of a marker to rub where that graphite had been laid down so that it transferred over to this side. At this point, I've darkened up that transfer and I'm ready to fold it over again and rub it again. Here we go. When you're rubbing, it's important to get the entire surface. If you miss any parts, you won't have a full transfer, and it will be difficult to darken up your image. It will be difficult to make things symmetrical. It'll just be difficult. Let's see how we're doing. Let's do a little check. Oh, it's transferring a little bit, but you see over here where I didn't quite get enough, there's not enough graphite there for me to see what to do. Same thing right in here. Right in here, same thing. I need to apply more pressure. I guess I'll go ahead and do the other side. And this is how we can transfer images with graphite. It's kind of like doing a carbon copy, because you know graphite is carbon with binders, usually types of clay and other things. Sometimes they will add a little bit of pigment to make it even darker. Usually the darker the pencil, the more carbon that's in it. Let's see how this transfer is going. Oh, I'm still too light on my edges. I need to remember. That looks pretty good. That's enough to where I can see to darken this up a little bit more. So with my pencil, I think I'll use this one. This is the one I started with. I'll just continue this design. I'll darken it up. One thing to keep in mind, you're going to have to put paint inside of each of these little shapes that you've created. So whenever you do your initial design, whenever you create your initial one, you don't want it to be too detailed. We're going to be using paint. If you haven't used paint before, it can be very difficult to get little teeny tiny shapes with a paintbrush. So the larger your shapes are, the easier your life is going to end up being when it's time for us to add paint. This one is ready.